All right. Madre, my mother, the coolest woman on the planet. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Good, good, good. All right. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born?
I was born in Lawrence, Massachusetts, a little bit outside of Boston.
Okay. And you have a lot of siblings, correct?
Yes, I do. There was 13 of us, seven girls and six boys.
Man, 13. Dang. That's a lot. How was that like growing up with so many siblings?
Well, actually, it was about only four of us that were living in the same house at one time because the older ones were out of the house by the time we were, all little and growing up. So, but it was cool having, because we didn't need best friends. We were all our own best friends.
Right, that's awesome. That's good. That sense of family, and you all are still close to this day, so that's pretty cool. So growing up as a child, what kind of music did you like listening to?
Well, of course, the Temptations. Um, we're from the same projects as.
Dad. I was like, what the? Oh man.
That's your dad. He's special. He's some kind of special. But we grew up. So growing up, I grew up in the same place that New Edition grew up.
Really?
Yeah. So I listened to, of course, New Edition when I got a little bit older, but growing up in Boston,
Yeah.
Temptations,
Okay.
all those groups that could sing. I don't know what you call this now, but
I was all right. So that was going to segue to my next question. What music do you like listening to now?
I would have to say it would have to be old school. Like my favorite was Eric B. and Rakim.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else?
So you don't like any of the new artists that are coming out?
Like who?
Like
I don't like mumble music. I mean mumble rap because they need to lay off the drugs. Just say no. I want to understand what they're saying, and they shouldn't be talking about just drugs and screwing. And I mean, there's other things. If you're artistic, you shouldn't have to talk about all that. I mean, Biggie, he talked about that. I mean, but he was artistic, and so was what's the other dude's name? Tupac. So I like Tupac. Of course, I grew up half the time in California, so of course we loved. What's the group's name? I forgot.
NWA.
NWA. Yes. So of course I grew up on NWA once I left Boston. So we loved NWA, and just had a message in the music. Now half these dudes look like girls and.
Damn!
I mean, come on. What do you want to be? You're confused. Damn. But anyways.
All right. So around the time period where you were growing up in California, what was that like? What was that experience in living in California?
That was awesome because I actually grew up in San Francisco.
Okay.
And that was a mixture of all kind of nationalities: Filipino, Samoans, Hawaiians, so Chinese. I mean, African. So I grew up with a lot of different nationalities. So that was nice.
Okay.
California was definitely nice. San Francisco was nice.
All right. So around the time you're 18, 19, what do you decide to do with your life? Like what path were you going on?
Partying. Partying and working. I mean, I did what you were doing.
Oh man.
What most people 18 and 19 were doing.
Right. Okay.
So I was partying and working. That's what I did. Work, party. We didn't have a lot of money, but I had my siblings, so we hung out. We used to go to Fort Ord. I mean the army bases in California and hang out and party.
Nice.
That's what we did.
All right. So that's a perfect segue actually. So you actually ended up joining the army, right?
For a little bit, and a lot of my siblings did. I mean, because if you didn't have no money, that's what you did.
Right.
You went to the military.
Would you say that what did that do for you in your life? That decision.
I would say that taught you discipline.
Okay.
I met a lot of cool people, people from New York, people from all over.
Okay.
But I already had experienced that. But I'll tell you what's funny because some people in the army had never been around black people.
Really?
Yeah, people from Kentucky
Okay. Yeah.
and those kind of areas. So it was interesting.
Wow. Okay.
It was
And
interesting.
so, through that, you ended up meeting my dad. Tell me, what was that like?
Well, how I met your dad was one of my sisters had her own engineering business in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
One of very few women-owned minority engineering business that she did engineering work for the air-to-ground traffic communication for the FAA.
Wow.
Very few. So she asked me from college if I wanted to move to D.C. to help her with her business and her husband. So I said, yeah, why not? So that's how I ended up in D.C. and that's when I met your dad, and he was stationed in Washington D.C. as a Marine. So, and we met a month later. He moved in, and we was tight ever since. 29 years later.
Damn.
A month later, we moved in together, and we was thick as thieves.
Dang.
Sometimes you know when you know.
That's great. That's great.
And then this little demon seed that's across from me.
Why you gotta be all that?
No, not me, you. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. This lovely son of mine.
All right. So of course, I was born. From you. What was that like for you? Knowing that you were pregnant, and just what were you feeling and what were you thinking at that time?
Well, it was cool because we had just bought our first house in Virginia, thanks to my sister kind of guiding us and using our GI Bill, the VA. So I mean, the Army, because your dad was in the Marine, so we used our GI Bill and got our first house in Alexandria, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
which was nice, and how young we were. That was like unheard of, or how young we were in Virginia. So it was nice. We were having parties. People were like coming over. We were balling. We were balling on a budget, but it was nice. It was nice.
That's
And so it was, a black young couple coming up, and I worked for my sister who had her own engineering business. At that time she had like a $5 million business, so
What?
it was pretty good.
Damn.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yes. So she had much respect. And then I ended up, she was like, she paid for me to get my degree.
Mm-hmm.
So, everybody was engineering. She said, you want to do accounting? I said, sure. She paid for it.
Damn.
So that's what we're supposed to do, lift each other up. And then you pay it forward. You help somebody else.
That's real. That's
And
solid.
that's what we have always helped. My family, we've always stuck together and helped each other, helped one another.
This is true. This is true. Like, it's definitely seen it from generation to generation. And
Right, and you do it too, you should do it also. Always help those other people, just don't think about yourself.
Right.
And God has blessed me and your dad and other people around us a lot.
A lot. Yeah, we are very fortunate. So what state, out of all the states you lived in, was your favorite one?
I would have to say probably California, because California is like no other state. You can go to different parts of California and it seems like you're in different parts of the United States. You go to Northern California, Southern California, Lake Tahoe.
Mm-hmm.
We spent a Christmas in Lake Tahoe. All the family got together.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was.
It was beautiful. So I would say, but the second would be the D.C. area, the tri-states, Maryland, Virginia, D.C. Black people doing their thing in D.C. I like Florida. It's nice to visit. I wouldn't want to live there again.
I feel that.
I like Georgia. It's kind of like, it's nice because of the weather, but the southern mentality.
Yeah, it's a kind of a turn
it's
on.
ingrained in, because this is a slavery. This goes back to slavery time. So, unfortunately, whites and blacks have that kind of like that back in the day. They don't want to give black people certain jobs or give us chances, and then black people don't sometimes think they deserve it because of that slave mentality. I'm not saying everyone has it, but I think it's ingrained in the South, and that's the only drawback to me of living in the South. But other than that, I really like Georgia. It's come up a lot. A lot of businesses moved here, so it's straight.
That's what's
It's
up.
blessed us. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, um, you have a grandchild, two grandchildren actually. What's that like for you? Being being a grandmother,
Well,
having
I'm not a
two.
grandmother. I'm a Mimi.
My bad,
So
a
I don't
Mimi.
look like no grandma. I ain't claiming to be no grandma. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. But I love it. It's a blessing. I love family. Remember, I come from a family of 13. My dad's mom had 12 kids.
Mm.
So I come from a large family. So I love family. I'm all about family. Always have been. So everything I do revolves around me doing things for my grandkids as a family. So I love having my grandkids. One lives far, one lives close, but we make it work. I wish I had more. As long as the people having the kids can take care of them, I just want to be a part-time Mimi, and Papa. We don't want to be raising our grandkids. Like you see, we not down for that. We not down for that. We like our lives.
Yeah.
We're very active, so we ain't trying to be those young grandparents that's taking care of their grandkids all the time.
This is true. Speaking of active, what place that you've traveled to was the most fun?
I would have to say, I haven't been out. I've been out of the country some, but I'll tell you, San Diego is one of the most beautiful places you would ever want to visit.
Really?
Beautiful. It's very nice. San Diego. I would say Lake Tahoe.
Mm.
It's expensive, but Lake Tahoe. I would say probably. I just want to go back to San Diego. I mean, I wish I went more. I just love San Diego.
Okay.
Like on the game, the show, the game.
Yeah, yeah.
San Diego Sabers.
Oh yeah, that's Madre's show. The game. That's a good show.
Yeah, I would have to say San Diego. And you know what? Honestly, too, I love Panama City Beach. People call it the Redneck Riviera. They can call it whatever they want. That's a nice. I like. It's not expensive. It's not far. You can drive there, and it's a nice place to visit. I would have to say Panama City Beach too.
All right, all right. So in closing, what is something that you think that the younger generation should know about accumulating wealth and the mindset that they need to do that?
I would say the first thing is, I think the problem with the millennials and just younger, I grew up poor, very, very poor. And people are like, yeah, you ain't grow up poor. Yeah, I grew up real poor. You gotta be hungry. You gotta want. So I think a lot of people, why they're certain supporters of Bernie Sanders, the millennials, because they want stuff for free. He's education for free, healthcare, which I believe everyone should have healthcare for free. But you can't have everything for free. You have to work for some things. And everyone should have a trade, some type of trade. And I ain't talking about illegal trade. I'm talking about a trade. So you have to have a skill set to be successful. You don't have to go to school for 4 years, but everyone should have a trade. So that's what I would say. That's how you're going to accumulate. And you don't have to work for someone, work for yourself, but have that trade. But you have to be hungry and stop thinking your grandparents and your parents are going to be there to be your parachute to take care of you. Be hungry. And whatever your dream is, sacrifice. You have to sacrifice for it. Because if you sacrifice for it, you're going to keep it. And so if you work hard for it, you're going to keep it. But if it's given to you, you're not going to keep it. So be hungry for whatever you want and don't give up. And don't procrastinate. Get it done. And guess what? You're going to be successful. For sure.
Mm. Spoken by a true boss, man.
I am a boss. I have 7 employees and they all in California. But guess what? I work remotely and I'm still the boss.
Exactly.
3,000 miles away. So it all works.
Well, Madre, thank you so much for the time and the talk. I love you. I appreciate everything you've done for me. And hopefully, I can share this with Wade when, he grows up and other family members too, so that they can see, just insight on things and just, just how awesome it is to be a part of this family.
Yes, and everybody keep their social distance. Care about everybody. So we all going to get through this. God is good.
All right.
All right.